Yeah, I literally got in a room with these guys. It was one of the easiest deals I've ever done.
And then the feel of it. I mean, I know you've done a lot of big fights. We're talking 3, 4, 5 million pay-per-views here. Compare this to the biggest events you've been in. And why do you think the public is so enamored with this fight when they're not even guys from the same sport?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously the biggest fight I've ever been a part of or ever gone to. This thing, you know, I think it's just because the UFC is so big. Floyd Mayweather is undefeated and you know, arguably the greatest of all time. And I don't know, people have just rallied behind this thing with the belief, I think that, you know, you have the boxing side going, this guy's a professional boxer against a guy who is an amateur. You know, if you compare records in boxing. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people believe, like I believe, this is a fight. Yeah, it's under boxing rules, but this is a fight. And the MMA guys have heard me say it forever. Don't judge a fight until the fight is over. You don't know what's going to happen when two guys get in there and start throwing punches, especially a guy who hits like a truck. You know, Conor McGregor, when he hits people, he hurts them, and when he hurts them, he puts them away.
Dan, on your left, you've been involved in a number of huge events, but have you ever seen something like this? You have thousands of people queued up for a press conference outside.
Well, just the media alone. I mean, forget the people. The media alone that's here for this event. And today, this is sold out. Sold out. You know, there's not a seat left in the building for here. And then we go to Toronto tomorrow. We had to move to a bigger venue. We had to leave the venue we were in and go to a bigger venue. It's 16,000 plus. Barclays sold out, and then today, in 10 minutes, tickets were gone at Wembley. So, yeah, no, I've never been a part of anything like this.
The way Conor talks before fights, obviously does a great job in promoting the fight, but have you seen it, does it have a real impact on the opponent in terms of just like...
Yeah, I say it all the time. You know, when we first started to know about Conor McGregor, and, you know, I was looking at this guy, I was like, Jesus, you know, I haven't seen a mental warfare game like this, you know, since Ali. This kid's like the Irish Ali. You don't ever want to start comparing somebody to Ali. It's just, you know, it's just, you just don't do it. But when you look at this kid, there's nothing like him since Ali.
Dana, a lot of boxing purists have weighed in on this fight and obviously said Mayweather wins easy. But you're a boxing purist. You've followed the sport for years.
Yep.
From your perspective, what's Conor's route to victory?
I just think I'm a little more open-minded because of the MMA side of it. And, you know, the boxing guys are never going to look at this thing and go, and listen, I get it. I get where they're coming from. Floyd's almost 41 years old. He'll be 41 this year. Conor McGregor is 28 years old. Southpaw, hits like a truck. You know, we'll see. We'll see how this thing plays out. I think that. I think it's crazy to think that Conor won't hit him in 12 rounds of fighting.
And when was the point during Conor's UFC career, because he's always talked so much, where it went from talk to, you know, you being impressed by what this guy can do in the octagon as a true fighter?
Well, I would have to say that moment for me was, as you know, we were on the tour for Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, and Conor was like, I will knock this guy out in the first round. And for the boxing guys in here, Jose Aldo was the greatest 145-pounder of all time, and at the time, the only 145-pound champion ever in UFC history. And to say that you're going to knock a guy like that out in the first round is crazy. Conor knocked him out in 13 seconds.
Dana, over here on your right. Good afternoon, buddy. What are the implications for the UFC with Conor McGregor as well? Obviously the biggest star in mixed martial arts at the moment, in terms of him potentially earning, I'm just throwing it out there, say between 50 and 100 million US dollars for this fight. What are the implications for the UFC afterwards in terms of getting him back into the octagon?
Yeah, there's always, I mean, you guys know how I feel about that. I got you. So I had a bunch of guys who worked for us in the UFC, and they made a bunch of money, and they're gone now. You know, you just don't know if he's going to come in and make this kind of money. He might never fight again, but that's part of the deal, you know. This kid has done a lot for this sport. He's done a lot for this company, and this is the fight they wanted. So we're going to give it to him. And if this is the end of his career, then it is what it is.
And as Lance was just saying then, you know, having yourself, I mean, having been involved, you know, you understand boxing very well, and obviously you understand MMA incredibly well as well. Can you just explain again what you felt being around Conor McGregor, that we know that he's a massive, massive underdog in this fight, but he does have something weirdly special about him, that he might just be able to do the unthinkable.
Yeah, no, this kid believes in himself like nobody I've ever seen before, and it's almost this, you know, what he thinks about, he manifests into reality, and the confidence is incredible. You know, as this tour goes on and as we lead up to this fight, the boxing media will get to know Conor McGregor too, and see the type of person that he is, and he will play the mental warfare game throughout this whole thing, and he will get in there that night. And listen, you never know how a fight's going to be and how it's going to turn out, but you guys know, the guys who do know Conor McGregor, he will go in there and try to knock Floyd Mayweather out.
And do you think finally that this is a kind of one-off with MMA beating boxing?
Yeah, it's the one-off.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Dana. I'm Nancy with WBC, World Boxing Council.
Nice to meet you.
My question is, what is your ultimate goal with this fight? I mean, is it a one-time thing, for the fans, or is it something you would like to continue?
I don't want to do this every weekend. No, this is going to be as awesome as this is, and as great an event as this is. I'm a one and done in this one. You know, people were asking me earlier if there was a rematch clause or any of that type of stuff. There isn't, and to even talk about a rematch, to even think about a rematch, you have to see what the fight is like first. Listen, if Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor is one of the greatest fights you've ever seen in your life, you know, it's probably something that you would have to consider, but otherwise it's just, I want to go back to my world after this.
One more question.